of the best things that I've found for myself with like my ADD and being anxious is that I have to like schedule everything. Everything has to be scheduled. So when I make these videos, it's like this is the time I left for myself to do makeup in the morning. So like I'm very scheduled. And when it's like I don't know if I'm gonna be able to post this later, it's because like my day is scheduled out. Like it doesn't matter what's on my schedule. Like brushing my teeth, showering, waking up, it's all on a schedule. Like I am a scheduled person. So if you're somebody who's like really anxious, I think that you should get yourself on a schedule, and therefore you'll be, so the whole thing with me, at least with being anxious, like there's so many things that are out of my control and they make me anxious, but there are so many things that are in my control if I could just get myself on a schedule and be in control of them. So I think that is a huge thing, and it makes me, it's still like, I'm still like, I carry the weight of a lot of stuff with me. I'm still an anxious person, but it lessens it a lot. And also, like, I don't look at ADD as like, so I was diagnosed like later in life with it, which I definitely should have been diagnosed as a kid. And that explains why I struggled so much in school, and like why I never understood how everybody else understood what was going on. And I never understood what was going on because I wasn't there. I was, my mind was all over the place. And so I had a client, I don't know if I ever shared this story, but I had a client who's a teacher, and she's one of like the most influential people in my life. And she's like, oh, I've only been doing her hair for like, I don't know, maybe 4 years. Like that's pushing it. But she has just like pushed me out of my boundaries, and she has just like opened me up to like this whole new world. And I love her for it. And she actually said to me, I actually thought I was like on the spectrum for autism, which runs in my family, because I know that I think differently, I feel differently, I know I'm like a different person. And she was like, no, she's like, I don't think you have autism. She's like, I actually, when I first met you, thought you had OCD. She's like, but now getting to know you, she's like, you have ADD. She's like, and she said to me, she's like, listen, me telling you this, she's like, I can't diagnose you. Obviously, I'm a teacher. Her husband was a therapist. He passed away. She was like, I can't diagnose you with this. You have to like go get a formal diagnosis. She's like, but the whole reason to get a diagnosis is to understand yourself so that you could function properly in life. And she's like, and clearly, she was so sweet. She's like, clearly, like you're doing well. Like you don't need the diagnosis. You're doing good for yourself, which I thought was really sweet. I don't know if I've ever said this in a story, so in like one of these stories before or on my YouTube channel. So I'm sorry if I have. But I actually wanted to do an entire video dedicated to ADD and ADHD. I just have to like learn more about it for myself before I start putting out like information on the internet about it. But like for myself, like a lot of people are like, oh, everybody has ADD. And it's like, if you feel that way, maybe you need to go to the doctor and get diagnosed. Like, because not everybody has it. And when the woman, my client told me like, oh, I think you have it, I was like, no, there's no way, because I don't need to be entertained 24/7. I don't need to like, I'm not hyperactive. And like, that was just a misconception of what I always believed ADD was, but that's actually not what it is. Actually, in adults, you become like very restless. And like, for me, if I'm not on a schedule and I don't like know what I'm doing, like I become very restless. Like I'm not good in like idle time. It doesn't do me well. Like I'm not like clients are always like, oh, just this movie. It's like, no, I didn't. Like I don't really like watch movies. I don't watch TV. I don't do things that people do because I feel very restless when I do it. I feel like anxious when I do that stuff. For the most part. Recently I've been getting more into like watching movies again and stuff like that. But for the most part, that is how I feel. I don't know what I was just saying. I forgot what I was saying. But yeah, so the whole point of whatever. So then I wound up going to my therapist. I was going to therapy at the time. Or maybe I had just started when she told me this. And I was like, hey, I want to know if I have ADD. And she's like, all right, well, you have to have 5 of these 9 things to have ADD. And she went through it and she was like, you have all 9. And I was like, oh, okay. And it's like, I'm not on medication for it. I don't want to be on medication for it. I just wanted to understand myself. I wanted to understand why I struggled so much in like my academic career, like why I couldn't understand things, why I had never had any idea what the hell was going on in a classroom. Like I learned differently than other people, but like I excelled when I went to beauty school because it was something that I was interested in. So I just wanted to know for myself, not for like, literally not for any other reason besides like, I just want to know myself. And I feel like that's been like my journey since then, is like trying to understand myself. I feel like we spend so much time trying to figure out other people, but we never try to figure out ourselves. And so that's just kind of what I've been trying to do. So yeah. And I think all of this whole conversation just started by being like, hey, I'm a scheduled person and I might not have time to post this later. And that's how we got into this whole conversation. Today I literally like put so much stuff in my hair and I look like Rod Stewart. Like it's like what? I look like Rod Stewart, seriously. All right, I'm gonna try to finish up my face kind of fast, and I will be back on later to, I don't know, probably come up with something else that I have to talk about or whatever, but I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Okay, bye. One thing I want to say before I forget, when my client first told me she thought I had ADD, and I was like, no, like there's no way. And I went home and I started like actually doing research on ADD, ADHD. I bawled my eyes out for like a week straight. I'm not kidding. Like I was like, I actually have a video that I've never posted because like I said, I want to do a whole video on ADHD. And I literally have a video of the day I came home, I think from the therapist when she was like, you have all 9 of whatever. And I literally was like filming myself and I was just crying my eyes out about like this realization that like there's not something wrong with me. And like it doesn't prohibit my current life. It doesn't prohibit my adulthood. But like sometimes you think like, oh, what could I have been if I was a good student? Or what could I have been if I did better in school or could understand better or could focus better or knew what the heck was going on ever in my life because I never knew. And then I think like, well, thank God I didn't get a diagnosis. I'm so thankful to be where I am today. Like so thankful. Like I never look back and think like, oh, well, like I was just saying like, obviously I think like, oh, what if I was a good student? Like maybe I could have been like something else in life. But then I think like I'm so lucky to be where I am. I'm so lucky to have had the path that I've had to get me to the place now where it's like I just want to know about myself. Like I'm good. I feel good. I'm happy. I don't feel like it prohibits me. I actually feel like it's a benefit to me being a small business owner because if you look it up, like you're 300 times more likely if you have ADD or ADHD to become a small business owner because like that's just the way our brains work. So I'm actually very thankful that not that I have ADD, I guess yeah, I am. But also that I understand myself now, something I never did before. And I feel like there's something so powerful in being like, hey, I know myself. I know how I feel. I know who I am. There's something so, like, nobody could ever take that away from you. And people can say whatever they want about you. They can literally, like, shit on your character. They could just shit on your life. It doesn't matter. Like, I know who and what I am. And that means so much more than what somebody else thinks of you as. Like, you know yourself. Like the videos that I had recently where I was like, I know I don't want to do business with somebody who treats me this way. That's so powerful. Instead of being like, okay, well, I'll just get bullied into doing this or whatever. It's like, I spent an entire year trying to figure my shit out. And like, thank you, 2019. I really appreciate you. It was a very eye-opening year. And so I feel like I'm just repeating myself now. I feel like I had like something profound to say. Now I can't remember it. How about these eyebrows though? I really got to do them. I have like no eyebrows. Okay, something else I wanted to say was, sorry, I'm getting my concealer ready. In the video that I haven't posted about like me crying when I got diagnosed with ADHD, in the video, maybe one day I'll post it. I don't know. I probably will, but like probably like down the road. In the video, I say like, I just couldn't never understand myself. I didn't understand my feelings. And I always thought like, why am I so different? Why am I so different than everybody? And it was hard for me, you know what I mean? And then I was thinking like, oh, I want to find out who was born in like on the same day as me, in the same hospital, like who was born that day. I want to find those people and I want to see if they're like me because I was like into like the zodiac signs and like your sun sign and your moon sign. It's based on like where you were born. If you find out your sun sign and your moon sign, like it is exactly me. I am a Libra sun and a Gemini moon, and it is literally me like to the core. And one of my clients who's a therapist actually told me about that. And I have to say, I have a clientele that is like extraordinary. Like they are like brilliant people and like just so perfect, such a perfect clientele for me to be like just understanding the world and like having like so much more acceptance and love and like understanding of like life. I get so much of that through my clients, and like it's that thing where it's like everything happens for a reason, or like you meet people for a reason and everything like that. Like I so believe that. So I was like into like the zodiac sign stuff, and it's funny, I have a client who like I mesh really well with her. Like we're very, very different, but we share a lot of similarities. And one day I said to her, I'm like, I'm like, I know her birthday. I know she's a Gemini. And I was like, I know you're a Gemini. What's your moon sign? And she's like, I think it's a Libra. And I was like, that's crazy. Because she's like the opposite of me. But like, we work well with each other. We work really well with each other. And I just thought like, wow, that's so wild to me. So anyway, I do, if you're ever like being like, hey, I don't understand things. I don't understand life. I don't understand why things are happening the way they're happening. I don't understand why I'm different. I don't understand why I feel different. Like, figure yourself out. Go talk to people outside of your little circle. Like, branch out a little bit. You'd be surprised what you find. Go to therapy. Go find out your sun sign, your moon sign. Like whatever you believe in. How do you take me serious when I'm talking like this? But like, this is the serious part. Figure yourself out. And in figuring yourself out, you'll be able to deal with situations that much better because you're like, I know my triggers. I know what I will and will not accept. I know how I feel. I don't need anybody to tell me if the way I feel is right or wrong. And so, yeah. All right. I'm going to stop now. By the time you see me again, this is all going to be gone. But every time I stop the video, I like get a thought in my head and I'm like, I got to say this because I'm going to forget if I don't say it. But I think I'm just going to stop now. I'm almost done with my makeup and then I'll come on for final looksies. Okay, bye. Hello. All right, guys. Final thoughts. Turtleneck. I mean business. Blue eyeshadow. I like to have fun. But seriously, figure yourselves out because once you know who you are, you can own your feelings and you can not give them away to other people and have them trigger you, gaslight you, make you feel ways, make you feel like you want to explode on them. Like you could be like, now I know who and what I am and you're not getting a rise out of me. So that is like one of the most powerful things. It's something nobody could ever take away from you. How you feel, what you think, you're like, somebody can't take that away from you. So it's so important to figure that out for yourself. The other thing I wanted to say was, I know I had something else and I can't remember what it was. I also think I have like something on my contact right now. Story of my life, right? Either they're making me feel like Terminator or I have something on my contact. I don't know. I think it was something about my YouTube channel. I wanted to say like I've been putting like a lot more effort into these videos and less on my YouTube channel. So my apologies if you're here from my YouTube. I will get back on that. I do have some great videos. I have an entire schedule for this entire year of videos I want to put out. It's just a matter of like getting my ass in gear because when you're self-employed, you got to self-motivate. And sometimes it's hard, especially when I had like that sickness all last week. I mean, they killed me. But yeah, so that's it. I love you guys so much and I hope everybody has a great day and that's it. I hope you guys like these videos. Hope this doesn't get cut off because I talk too much and I love you. Bye.